update the nodes and I will repeat like whatever I have missed. So if you go to Jenkins, if you go to day 1, so we have discussed the story of the Jenkins, right? So Jenkins was created by Sun Microsystem after Oracle purchased that Sun Microsystem, and they have created their own product called as Hudson. And there is also a Jenkins product was also running, but Hudson no one has purchased as it is paid one. Jenkins is a free one, so everyone was started using Jenkins, and Jenkins became a huge success. So what is the CI/CD pipeline? I have explained. So during waterfall model, then after agile, how the process was gone, everything I have explained yesterday. Then after I have explained about the history of Jenkins, why Jenkins, what is the advantages of Jenkins and workflow of Jenkins, right? Everything we have discussed. Then after I have written some notes on that. If you see, just imagine one developer worked on browser front end part, one developer worked on application handled application part, one developer worked on business logic. So if you see the waterfall model, whenever they combine all the code, they will need to have a huge fight, because total code was going to integrate in waterfall model. In yesterday we have discussed, right? Everything will be developed at a one time, and then after they will merge all code together. So there will be thousands of lines of codes will be there. So at a time, if you merge, you will get many conflicts, nothing but many errors. So at that time, you cannot able to identify the issue as soon as possible. It will take huge lot of time. So if you see continuous integration, in this we integrate all the components of application from day 1. Ante last, if you worked on the project from 2 to 3 months, then you will from where you started, from the day 1 you will integrate nothing but developer will work on different branches, right? They will merge all branches together, nothing but if for suppose if developer worked on home page, someone will work on add to cart, someone will work on payment gateway, like that everything will be merged together. So to check whether CI is successful or not, some set of automation tests were developed. So before integrating, we need to check, we need to do some tests. So that basic tests are called as smoke tests. So what is the smoke test? I'm going to explain in upcoming sessions. You no need to worry. It will be like new term for you. Just observe. So as I said, my classes will be like web series. So today if I reveal any word, that answer will be, you will get an in upcoming sessions. So developer will write some unit test scripts to test the code. So if you see, developer have written writing unit test to measure the accuracy of unit test. Generally we need a tool which measure coverage, code coverage. So line coverage, branch coverage, symbol coverage, nothing but whatever developer written the code symbol, for suppose he measured some, he has given a space, extra space, or he has written the code in wrongly, everything will be identified by a tool that tool called as code quality. Okay, code quality tool. So that is nothing but a sonar cube. Using sonar cube you can able to test the code. So what is the sonar cube? You don't need to worry, I am going to explain. So to verify the quality of code and whether it suits your organization's coding standard, code reviews are conducted. So as per the company, code has written correctly or not, everything will be checked using that tool. For coding standards, the best practice can use tools. So code smell, technical development, it will be new terms, you don't need to worry. So if it is Java, you will be using JUnit to test the code. If it is Python, you will use PyTest. If it is Node.js, you will use Jasmine, and if it is C#, you will use NUnit. So the tool run tests is called test on this tool. or popularly known as test runners, to run your unit test. And most popular tool was a JUnit. As I said, to check the code coverage and code quality, we are using the static code analysis tool that is called as SonarQube. So as you know, we need to implement the CI/CD pipeline. So for implementing CI/CD pipeline, you will be having many tools available in the market. Most popular was Jenkins, Azure DevOps, Travis CI, TeamCity, Bamboo. So we are going to learn Jenkins. So what is a build and artifact? You know, right? Whenever we will get the direct code, what we will do, we will take that code, we will convert that code into a setup file package. That package part we call it as build and artifact. So build represents a format by package into which your application code is transferred to run an end user system. To generate package, we need to perform certain steps: compile and package. So in the same way, you will be having day builds and night builds as well. Nothing but, now let me open Paint. So just imagine, yeah, you can able to see my screen, right? There is no disturbance and all, right? Developer, he has pushed the code to version control system. So just imagine, he started working. So day 1, he has done a commit. Just imagine this is a commit. For this commit, we have run the job in CI/CD. Just imagine it has taken 30 minutes to complete. So in the same way, just imagine he has done some commits. So whenever he had done commit, every commit will be, job will be run automatically and it will be deployed. Nothing but a setup file will be generated. So yeah, just imagine he has done 5 commits on that day. So individually you will run a job. So this is nothing but called as day builds. So after day ends, total whatever you have done 5 commits, this 5 commit will be togetherly tested at a time. During log off session, you will just start a job and you will left the company. This is called as night builds. So next day you will come and check. So if you taken 30 minutes for one commit, but if you see for total commits, it will take hell lot of time. On the daytime you cannot able to test whatever the committed on the whole day. So in companies, what they will do, during log off they will just start the build, and after coming they will just check whether the build was success or not, or if there is any issue, then they will work. In the same way, like this, the days will be repeated. Day 2 also same, whatever the commits have done on the day, total commits at a time will be again job will be run and it will be tested. So if you see this diagram, open image in new tab. So if you see, normal process, developer will write the code, okay, and there will be some testers. So what they will do, they will push the code to version control system. What we will do, we will build and package the code, and we will run some unit test, and we will do some static code analysis, nothing but using SonarQube. And if there is any automated test cases which is written, we will run on that as well. Then after, what we will do, we will create a testing environment and we will deploy the application, and we will check some automated tests to whether the application is working or not. This is a normal approach which we will follow. So what is a day build? So every change is done by a developer, or changes done by a developer in a short period of time, that is 1 hour. So here I have written 30 minutes, so it depends. So during working hours, nothing but whenever they work. So what is night build? Combined changes of all developers during a working day. So on that day, whatever the developer has worked, like for suppose if the 10 developers are worked, all the developers work will be changed, like combined everything. So this build will be used for testing the next day by QA team. So we will start we will start running that code. Then after, testers will just check whether home page is working or not. They will just try to log in and they will try to check everything. So this build will be started outside the working hours, nothing but 11:30 p.m. at a time. You will start and you will left. After completing the job, tester will come and they will check your application will be deployed successfully, right? Total whatever developer written, everything code will be combined together and they will deploy to the some server. Now then developer testers will check that home page, add to cart, everything. Then after, they will give the feedback. So this is the normal process which follow in every company. So if you see, you will be having, you need to take the version of Git, because code will be stored in the Git. And for packaging the code, what are the tools you will be available? For Java, you will be having Ant, Maven, Gradle. So Maven is a popular one. And for .NET, there is a MS Build. For Node.js, there is a Gulp. For Python and Ruby, as I said, there is no need of any build tool. So what is the outcomes you will get? Build may success, build may fail. And what is the unit test outcome? Test is passed, test is failed. So these are the two outcomes. And what is the static code analysis? As I said, using SonarQube, you will test what is the outcome for static code analysis. You will get a corrections, and you might get all the code will be good. So as a DevOps engineer, what knowledge we need to have? At least we need to know how to execute this build and package the code using command line tool, and we need to know how to run this unit tests, and we need to know how to perform this static code analysis. So you no need to worry, we are just in the beginning, we are going to learn everything. So this part we have discussed, right, yesterday. Now before discussing, I want to discuss more. Let me remove this. Jenkins 8. So before discussing, now let me go to Google DevOps images. Right, let me open Yeah, this image was good. Open image in new tab, copy image, paste. Let me make this small. Right. What is the process you are going to do? So did you remember we have discussed waterfall model? So first, what is the software development life cycle? First they will plan, then after they will start the coding, then after they will build, then after they will do some test, then they will release, and they will deploy to multiple servers, then after operate, monitor. So this is a cycle which follow in DevOps. So if you see, this cycle will be go on continuously. That's the reason this continuous integration, continuous delivery, or continuous deployment, that called as CI/CD. That's the reason the DevOps logo will be infinity. So this process will be continuously going on. So now let me search Jenkins. Let me go to images. Open image in new tab. Just try to identify who is this person. Can you able to identify? So just this is like logo is like a waiter, right? So if you go to restaurant, you will get a waiter and they will ask, sir, what you want, how can I help you? So we will ask a menu, then he will go and get the menu, then after we will order something, he will go inside and he will go to kitchen, he will tell that order, then he will come back to us and he will give, then after we again ask for some cool drink, again he will go, okay sir, I will bring it to you, then after we will ask for a bill, he will go and generate a bill and he will give it to us. So if you see the logo itself, Jenkins also will do for us. Jenkins will also work as a waiter for us. So everything, this process will be done by Jenkins. We will go and ask to Jenkins. Jenkins will go to that particular server, right? He will do for us. But our point of contact will be in restaurant, as a our point of contact will be waiter. We cannot go to directly kitchen, right? Our point of contact will be Jenkins. So using that logos you need to learn, but no one will identify what is that logo. So using Jenkins we will run the build, everything will be run automatically in Jenkins. So Jenkins is nothing but just a tool, just a tool. You just the process will not going to end. Process will be permanent, but tools may change. So you need to learn Jenkins at present. So in future Jenkins may outdated. Some other tool may come to the market. Then you need to learn that tool. So you should not depend upon the tool. You should depend upon the process. What is the process? What is the process we are going to do? Plan, code, build. This process will be permanent. Tool may differ. Like for suppose if at present we are using Zomato or Swiggy, in future you will, if we get a tool another application which have more offers, then we will automatically go to that app, right? In the same way companies also choose a tool which is comfortable for them. Now Jenkins is comfortable for them, 80% market using Jenkins. In future if they get some other tool which is a open source which is better than Jenkins, then obviously they will go to that tool. So you should not depend on that tool. So you need to upgrade. So in the software industry you need to upgrade every day, then only you can able to survive. So now hope you have understand what is this DevOps. In DevOps what are the phases, why it is called as continuous integration, continuous delivery, because it will runs in infinity loop. This loop will goes on continuously, and in order to implement this loop we are using a tool called as Jenkins. So until here I think you don't have any doubt. So then let us go. If you understand now, I will show you how to install this Jenkins. Then let us go step by step. So what is a project I am going to show in future? Let me show here itself. So in the industry, whatever in the like in the market, what they are expecting, that part only I'm going to do. So this is the VCS. Right, he is a developer. Just imagine my friend has given me a code, I will take that code. He is a Java developer, he has written some code. So that is a insurance application which I am going to deploy. So he has pushed the code to version control system. Just for that we are using GitHub. So if you don't, GitHub is nothing but, okay, don't tell that in the interview. If they ask we are using GitLab Bitbucket. So if you work on GitHub, you can able to work on Bitbucket or GitLab as well. So for just imagine if you are using Ola, you can able to use the Uber app as well, right? Only the UI part will be changed. Here also same. If you know GitHub, just tell that I know GitLab and Bitbucket as well. You can easily work on it. Only UI part will be changed. Right? Then after what we will do? We will build by package. Here we are going to use, if it is Java, we are going to use Maven. Then after, what we will do, as per in market they are expecting, whenever the package was generated, we need to convert it into a Docker image. So then the Docker image will be stored in private repo. Just imagine Docker Hub. So if it will be depends upon the company. Some companies may use ECR, which is provided by AWS, ACR, which is provided by Azure. Some companies may use Artifactory. So you should not tell that I don't know. If you worked on one, you can able to work on other. So you need to at least convince the interviewer. Okay. Then after, what we will do, we will take that image, we will deploy it into cluster. So as I said, depends upon the company, they might use EKS, AKS, or KubeADM. Using KubeADM, they may set up the Kubernetes cluster. So in the interview, you need to explain this. Yeah, hi, this is Rahul. At present I am working in some so and so company, and I am working on a project where we have used where the code was developed in Java, and they have pushed the code to the GitHub private repo, and from there I have collected and I have done some changes, right? We are using CI/CD tool called as Jenkins to implement this total CI/CD pipeline. So I get an opportunity to implement this CI/CD pipeline from scratch. So for as a CI/CD tool, we are using Jenkins, right? Like this you need to explain. So when our developer commits the code, we need to trigger that code, and we need to generate an package out of it. And after generating the package, we need to convert into a Docker image. After creating the Docker image, we will store the Docker image into a private repository, and using that we will deploy it into a Kubernetes cluster. So then they will tell how you have set up, how you have followed this CI/CD pipeline setup. Can you able to explain me from scratch? Then after, you need to go in depth and you need to explain. These things we are going to do in upcoming sessions. So now let us go step by step, not in a hurry. Now let me just go to instances. So I told you, right, in our childhood we used to take cycles as a rent, because we don't need cycle 24/7. I just want one daily 1 or 2 hours to play with that cycle. In the same way, companies also, they don't want servers. So what they will do, they will rent a server and they will use that server. So the cost will be minimal. So if you say I am taking that server of Ubuntu, I am creating the server, I will do practice. After 1 hour, I will delete it. In the same way, if you want to, like, for suppose this is my system, so the system is, this is also called as a server, one type of server. So this is called a physical server, where I go on to the market, I have purchased. This is a virtual server, nothing but we are using someone else server. So as I said, for apartment how we will be having a security guard, in the same way for server who need to access, you will be having security group. Click on launch instance. So it will take some time. Now let me give a name called as don't worry, I will repeat this again tomorrow. Just give me a name called as Jenkins. Right. So wherever, so in order to log into AWS server, you need to go to a particular folder where you have downloaded that PEM file. So if you see eks.pem, this is the file which I have downloaded. So in AWS, if you want to log into any server, you will not use like Windows username and password. You will going to use a file. So if you see eks.pem, so go to that folder. If you don't have Git installed in your system, try to install Git. Whenever you install Git, you will get a new option called as Git bash here. Click here. Let me maximize this. Right, paste that command, enter. Now I am inside the server. So now I want to install Jenkins. So as I said, Jenkins was developed in Java. So without Java, Jenkins cannot able to work. So for that, you need to install Jenkins first. So for every software in Ubuntu, whenever you install, first you need to update the libraries. Nothing but sudo apt update. So you need to know at least basic Linux. If you don't know, even I am going to help you, no need to worry. So now I have updated. Now I don't know how to install Java. Then in Linux there is a command called as apt cache search open JDK. Then it will go and search for Java. Right, if you see open JDK, now I want to install open JDK 11 JDK. So for what I did, I have updated the packages. Then after what I have done, sudo apt cache search open JDK. Let me take the screenshots. I will update in the notes. It will be better. So first, let me open the snipping tool. New. First you need to update the packages. Okay. Right, then after what you need to do, sudo apt install whatever the software you want. I want to install which one, OpenJDK 11-JDK. Then -y, nothing but it will not ask yes or no. Enter. Let me take this screenshot as well before it got success. This is the command I have run. Then it will install the software for us. File, new, Control V, crop. So what this command will do, will install Java 11 in Ubuntu machine. Why we are installing Java? Because Jenkins developed in Java, so without Java Jenkins cannot able to run. Jenkins 13. Right, now let me check Java was installed successfully or not. So for that, Java hyphen version. So if you see, Java was successfully installed. Right, Jenkins 14. Now we need to install Jenkins. Right, just search install Jenkins. So installing Jenkins, you just go to the official documentation of Jenkins, jenkins.io. Where I need to install? In Linux. Where? In Ubuntu. So if you see, these are the commands. Just copy this. Let me open a notepad. Paste here. Right, let us try to execute these steps step by step. So just what is the command? Using curl command you can able to download any file from the internet. What it is doing, it is downloading a key. Enter. Then after he is adding some Jenkins related package information into a where apt sources.list / Jenkins. Because Jenkins by default in apt package manager, Jenkins is not present, so it is just adding the information related to Jenkins. Then after he is updating the packages. Then after you need to execute this command, then Jenkins will be installed. Just give -y. So before enter, now let me take this screenshot from here. Right, copy this file, new, Control V. Let me write put everything. Using curl, it is downloading a key related to Jenkins. So what is this? Sorry, let me attach the charger. It will add info in apt repo. Which info? Jenkins related info. Then after it will update the package, it will update. Then after you can using this command install Jenkins. Now let me save this. Don't worry, I will add these images in the notes, and I will add the steps as well, how to install this separately. Right, now Jenkins was installed successfully. Now let me go here. I just forget to mention that Jenkins is run on 8080 port by default. Let me copy the public IP. Right, let me paste here. Let me enter 8080. Right, if you see, unlock Jenkins. So in this folder you will be having a password. Let me take this screenshot before. So 8080. I will repeat this again. I will stop it here because it will be too long for you. Crop. Let me explain this. Jenkins runs on port 8080. On which port Jenkins will run? 8080. In the interview they ask, you need to explain. Password to continue further. Save Jenkins 16. Now just go to this location. So let me log in to the server. It was logged out. Just a cat. So permission denied, because I am executing this command as a normal user. So for you need to use sudo cat. Right, you can see this is the password. Now let me take this screenshot. So this is the password. Location of password. So copy this and add in UI. Save Jenkins 17. right. Let me copy this, let me go to there. So first time you need to provide, then after you can change the password. Never. Then after you will get this screen. Let me take this screenshot. Just click here, install suggested plugin, nothing but it will install the plugins whatever required. So what is this plugin? I have discussed in yesterday's session. So it will add an extra features. Save Jenkins 18. So install suggested plugin, click on it. So if you see, it is installing a, so in the interview they will ask which version of Jenkins you are using. Let me take this again. So right now if you see, we are running the latest version, but in the interview you can tell the old version. So here we are using 2.4, you can tell 2.2, 2.1, like that. So version of Jenkins, save this, Jenkins 19. So it will take some time. So after that I will just run simple job, then after let us close this. So it will take time, let me pass until that. Right, it will ask you to set the username, password and confirm password, your full name, email address. It will ask for these details. Now let me take this screenshot as well. I will add this to the notes. So first it will ask a default password which is generated by Jenkins. Then after it will give an option to create your own password and your name and email address. Let me copy this. File new. Jenkins 20. I will not tell the password and confirm password, full name, email address, I will give the fake email, admin@admin.com. So save and continue. You can give your email. DevopsEasy. Write username, password, confirm password, full name, email. So now let me take this. Just click on save and finish. So in this screenshot we didn't get that username. You need to give the username as well. Save Jenkins 21. So then after click on start using Jenkins. So start using Jenkins. So whenever you install a Jenkins, by default a user, sorry, it was logged out, let me log in again. Whenever you install any software like in Jenkins, right, you will get a Jenkins user automatically created whenever you install a Jenkins. So in order to check that, just execute a command sudo cat /etc passwd. So whatever user you have created, user related information will be available in Linux in etc/password location. So if you see, a new Jenkins user has been created. If you see Ubuntu, at present we are in Ubuntu user. Jenkins user will be also created automatically when you install Jenkins. By default, whenever you install Jenkins, in the background it will create a Jenkins user. Just remember this. So now let me take this screenshot. So sudo cat etc password. Let me add the information. What is this? What about this command? Control Z. All user related info will present in this location. All users. Save. Jenkins 23. Now let me take this screenshot. Right, if you see, this is the Jenkins, this is the Ubuntu. Copy. Crop. So default directory was varlib Jenkins. Let me save this. Jenkins 24. So now let me go to the UI part, right? Now let me take the screenshot. So we are just now I'm just talking basic, but upcoming days we are going to go too much depth, and I'm not going to cover the project in depth in upcoming tools. Okay, nenu docker kubernetes whenever I have explained, I will just cover docker and kubernetes related data. Again, you know it, you should not ask me the real-time project in this Jenkins itself. I will cover every real-time project. After kubernetes I will show the project, but basic project, but this is the total real-time project in Jenkins tool itself. I will cover everything. So I have shown the right my information, right? Let me go to the notepad plus plus. So if you see, this is the my prices. So git, Jenkins, docker, kubernetes, terraform, ansible, monitoring, right? After completing monitoring, I will start the cycle again. So during the Jenkins part only, all project everything will be covered. So during docker only docker will be explained, during kubernetes only kubernetes will be explained. After completing kubernetes, I will show the project with one basic project, then after terraform, ansible, monitoring. So only during Jenkins only I will cover everything which is important. Now let me come back here. Okay, let me save this. Crop. Jenkins 25. And you know, I will conduct the mock interviews as well after every tool. Let me click on new item. Right, just choose a freestyle project, try to give a name. Don't worry, we are going to discuss the pipeline itself, but as it is starting, we are go with slow. Jenkins 26. So day 1 freestyle project. Okay, right, this is first class. Just come down, just click on execute. Now let me take the screenshot. Add some description. First class, that's the reason I'm providing every screenshot, but coming sessions I will decrease. Okay, now just snipping tool, just execute shell. Right, just give who am I. Who am I? Right, then after just click on save. So if you see, whatever the description I have added, it was get here. Right, my name was day1 and description with this first class. Just click on build now. File, new, control V, crop, Jenkins 30. If you see, build was started. Let me click on this. So if you see, who am I, nothing but who am I in Jenkins, the command using who am I, you can able to find the which user you are. So you can see by default Jenkins run on a Jenkins user. Now let me save this. Just copy this. Let me add to. So in Jenkins, you have whatever you have run, so everything will be run on Jenkins user itself. Now let me go to day 1. Now let me click on configure. Now I want to change some, do some changes in the job. So using control Z, control Z, it will not go. Okay, now let me take the screenshot again. Configure, Jenkins 33. Now let me add a extra command, sudo apt update, simple command, so it will update the packages. Then just click on save. I've added the extra command. So same thing you need to practice today. I will update the recording as well. I will update the notes as well. Just you need to do this activity today. Let me click on save. Now let me click on again. Let me take the screenshot. Now only one job was run. Now let me click on build now. So if you see, this is Jenkins 35. Build now. So you know what happened, it was failed. So if you see red color, green is success, red got failed. So whenever if it is failed, you no need to worry, you need to find a solution for that. As a DevOps engineer, why you are going to pay an huge amount to solving this error? Now let me take this screenshot. File new. Sudo a terminal is required to read the password. Either use the SS option to read from standard input express password for finish failed. So now I will explain why this has happened. So if it is telling that whenever I execute sudo apt update, Jenkins was telling that I don't have a required permissions. So whenever I install Jenkins will create a user. So that user will not have any permissions. It's a basic simple user. So I need to provide a permission for that user. So for that, what you need to do? Now let me enter sudo vi sudo. Sorry. So if you don't use the terminal for a long, it will automatically sign out. Right? You need to enter sudo vi sudo. Then after, what you need to do? You need to simply add here Jenkins Let me copy this. Then you can tell that I'm just adding one more term. No password, no, nothing but whenever I run as a Jenkins user, don't ask me a password. That is the meaning of no password. Now let me take this screenshot. Say you need to use this, you need to add this. Let me copy, file, new, white, go to sudo vi sudo file, add Jenkins permission. Save Jenkins 38. Now Control X, yes, enter. So syntax error. So Jenkins Control X, line 27. What is the syntax I have done mistake? Okay. You need to use WD. So I think this is a mistake I have done. Let me take the screenshot again. Control X, Y, enter. So now it is success. Yeah, I have done that mistake. So as a human being we will do some mistakes. We need to find. So I have missed it. PSSD, but it's a WD. New. Control V, crop. So if you do the silly mistakes, it will create a problem. vi sudo file locally, you need to add Jenkins user permissions. So Jenkins 38 replace Now let me var lib. So default directory was, as I said, right, var lib Jenkins is a default directory. Let me enter pwd. So var lib Jenkins is the default directory for the Jenkins user. Let me enter ls-la. So you can see these are the folders: workspace, plugins, jobs. I'm going to explain all this, you don't worry. So what is the default directory of Jenkins? If they ask in the interview, you need to tell var lib Jenkins is the default directory. So what are the artifact? So just enter ls-la. Whatever the jobs you have created, it will be stored in jobs folder. Whatever the artifact you have generated, your project related information will be stored in workspace. File. Let me go inside this jobs folder. So which job we have created? Day 1, right? Sorry, it's not a capital, it's small jobs. ls. So if you see, day 1 job which I have created. So now let me try to enter sudo apt install tree. Don't worry, what is this tree? It is nothing but a folder structure. It will display the folder structure. Let me enter tree. So if you see, inside this jobs you will be having day 1 folder. Inside the day 1 you will be having builds, and if you see, this is the config.xml. so nothing but inside the job folder, this is the basic folder structure you are going to have. Now let me cat this config.file. Cat day 1, right? Inside this day 1, config.xml. So if you see, inside the task, what is the command you have? Who am I? Sudo apt update. What are the commands have? So it is nothing but a XML form. Everything whatever you have done, everything will be stored in XML format in Jenkins. You no need to know in-depth knowledge about Jenkins, okay now, but if you need to rule the company, right? రేపు పొద్దున లోపలికి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత you should not get fear. That's the reason I'm showing everything. So everything will be, whatever the job related information will be stored in XML format in config.xml. File new, control V, crop, Jenkins. So no institute going to show these all things, but if you go to some other institutes, they will not show in depth in folder structure. So if you cat this day1.config.xml, let me take this screenshot as well. So what are the commands we have used, everything will be stored. In XML format. So what is the default directory? Var lib Jenkins. Inside that var lib Jenkins, you will be having workspaces, jobs, whatever you have created, it will be inside the jobs. 41, right? Now let me try to do some changes in my job. Let me go to the job, day 1, configure, right? Now let me go to execute shell. Let me delete this. Now let me add echo. This is DevopsEasy. Let me add this to a DevopsEasy.txt. Nothing but I am creating a simple DevopsEasy.txt file and I am adding this content into that file. This is the Linux basic command. Now let me take this screenshot. Now let me try to run this. So nothing but I am creating a one simple text file using Jenkins. Right, copy file, save. So I said, right, whatever we create, everything will be stored in Workspace. Let me test whether it is saving or not. 42. Save. Build now. Right. Now let me take this screenshot. Three. Jenkins 43. So finish with success. This is DevopsEasy. So if you see where it is stored, var lib Jenkins workspace, day 1. Now let me take the screenshot as well. This is the directory where it is stored. Copy, file, new. Now let me go to terminal. Cd var lib Jenkins ls cd workspace ls. Sorry, cd dot ls-la cd jobs let me enter tree, it will be better. Sorry, let me enter tree workspace. So if you see inside this workspace, it has created called as one folder called as day1, and inside the day1 you have a DevopsEasy.txt file. Now let me cat that file, cat workspace day1 DevopsEasy.txt. So if you see, this is DevopsEasy, whatever I have written, that text file was created. File new, save this, Jenkins 45. So now I have done this, right? Now I am going to give you a task. Okay, now I have created a Ubuntu machine. Just try to create a launch instance, try to create a different flavor of operating system, nothing but CentOS. Now I have used Ubuntu, right? You try to choose a CentOS server and try to install the software in Jenkins in CentOS. This is the task for you. So install Jenkins, go to install Jenkins, choose Linux, choose Red Hat. So try to install the same thing whatever I have done in Ubuntu, try to execute the same steps in CentOS. Don't take Ubuntu, first try to take Ubuntu, practice it, that, then after try to take CentOS. How you will do, try to search whatever you want, you go and do, and it's a task for you. Then only you can able to work. Now let me click on manage Jenkins. Let me go to plugins. So let me enter green balls. So let me go to available plugins, green balls. So I told you, right, what is the plugin? Plugin will add an extra feature. Now let me take the screenshot. Right, go to manage Jenkins. Inside at manage Jenkins, go to plugins. Inside this plugins, go to available plugins. Try to search green balls. Double check on it. Install without restart. File new. Control V. Crop. Jenkins 46. Sorry, 46 or 48. I will, yeah, 46. Install without restart. So it is pending. Success. Now let me go to dashboard. Day 1. Let me build now again. It is successful. So that plugin will add a feature. So like that you can able to install any plugins whatever. So you need to go to manage Jenkins, plugins, install. If you go to install plugins, whatever the plugins you have installed, you can search. So if you see green ball, so green is better than blue. Jenkins, let me enter / restart, so it will restart the Jenkins. It will take some time. So yeah, like this, whenever you restart, you can log in and you can see the jobs. And this is the weather condition of your job, and this is the success. So yeah, that's it for today.